Hello and welcome back or welcome to Season 2 of Hardcore Minecraft with me, Doom Mountain. And I would love to start this episode with a big thank you to everyone who's been watching lately and showing a lot more support and everything throughout the channel. It's going great. I'm really enjoying making videos at the moment and it's all going great and everyone seems to be enjoying it. So I'd just like to say a thank you. But with that all out of the way now, I would like to address the elephant in the room. Yes, my levels, they have dramatically dropped since last time. And well, that is because we finally put mending on our sword. And I'm not going to lie, guys, it took 17 levels to put mending on this sword. It's put it at its max, but it's perfect. And as long as I don't lose it, we shouldn't need to replace it or anything. It should be all sweet from here. But that's not just enough to actually lose our levels. No, so let me show you the other thing that I've spent some XP on at the moment. So as we can see behind me, we have Lucy's Hot Shop, our blacksmith that we built up last episode, as well as our horse and camel stable, the stables, which I built up last episode and asked for some name suggestions for some of our horses and camels. And well, one amazing viewer has actually responded with some suggestions, and I think they are quite fitting with the going of this. So let's show and introduce, I should say, Casey the Camel. Yeah, you like that name, don't ya? It's a fitting name for a camel. And we also have Trot. Now, Trot is the grandson of Spot and the son of Dot. Now, these are our two horses in previous one previous season and one previous sort of series of horses that are sort of spotted like this, that have that sort of Ott theme in their name. And well, these name suggestions came from Martin, so I would like to say thank you very, very much for all your support and watching out, and for naming our two friends over here. They both really, really appreciate it. Now, I don't want anyone freaking out going, where's Lucy? Where's Lucy? What happened to Lucy? Lucy got put inside of his blacksmith and he's tinkering away at the moment at the new take on a trident. Ooh, sounds interesting. So, as mentioned earlier, last episode was spent building up our blacksmith and stable area in order to try and help finish off that bottom corner of our starter island, so that way we can try and get this whole place finished up and actually move on to some more scarier projects, I want to say. So I have, in keeping with that sort of theme, want to go around and actually finish off this section here behind me. So as you can see, we have where our villagers all were. If I can get out of the way, the bamboo, you know, we decorated up all of that sort of hillside, and tucked away down there is our nether portal. So I'd like to make a cave entrance and a pathway connecting from this one all the way down. But I've come to sort of want to continue on this rocky wall all the way around here. Now, I think it will give it a much more of a depth section to it, and a bit more of a realism, because it's not all just dirt hills in every sort of section. There are a lot of rocky terrains, so I think I want to incorporate that over here. Now, there is also the massive area behind this village, which I didn't ever actually get around to. But you can see now that I have continued on a path. We've actually got another panda friend, so this isn't Poe. This is another panda friend that maybe we should try and take up to meet Poe. But as you can see, we've got our stairwell that leads up here, and a nice path, as well as some nice just sort of natural decoration. I might have gone overkill with the cherry blossoms. That might be something that we need to address a little later on to bring back some maybe greenery, but at the moment I really actually like the pink trees with the bamboo shoots just sticking out throughout all it. I think it looks really, really cool. But if we continue on with our path, you can sort of see that we come along nicely just as a standard path in every other area of our spot. A little bit more of a look out to the water, as well as just covering up this backdrop here, much like I did behind the horse stables and the blacksmith, just adding in that bit of moss patches around the place, throwing down some bone meal so we can get some grass and two tall grass variants, going through all the flowers and everything, which are that Too Tall Flower Farm came in massive help getting this all set up quickly. So yeah, going around dotting on the glowberries as well as a few of the roots, just to look like there is some more stuff growing off of these trees, and dotting in some campfires before we come up here to another lookout tower. And this lookout tower, because it is a bit further away from everything else, has its own little garden, and you know, it's all pretty well kept up here. Now, yes, you can't really access it and there's no spot to go over here, but I know this is at the moment the episode of but I have gone through and, you know, terraformed all of the back area here, mainly because I do plan to work over on this side where it's a bit more of a jungle, and I do want it to look a lot neater. Now, this probably isn't giving it the best view, so let's fix that up. As you can see up here across the way on top of this jungle tree, that a lot of the cherry blossoms actually covers a lot of the detail and the sort of decorative work that's underneath, but you can see how much it wraps around all of there. And we do have the bamboo shoots sticking out throughout all of it, as well as just going in with a bit of the touches of the grass, too tall grass. And yeah, it really ties in nicely to a bit of the just the parked area or the picnic area we did at the back there where the horse stables are. So this whole section's tying in really, really nicely. Now, what I want to do is, as I said, get that bit of a rocky walled surface bowl almost wrapping around the section at the back there, as well as making a cave entrance into our nether portal. So I think once we get that done, all that we have left is sort of that front part, and then our starter island is done. So I think that we've made some pretty good progress. Now, yeah, honestly, I don't think that there's too much more I want to get said now. So I think let's just jump into a time lapse and start getting up that rocky terrain built up. So yeah, let's jump over there now. Now, doesn't this just look so much better? It's set in a little bit lower than the rest of the ground. All this nice greenery with these 2 tall flowers. Mixing it up with the moss and the grass, putting in a few of these benches so that if we do come through the nether portal, which we'll get to, and it's night, we can quickly sleep it away and have, everything all nice and safe. But honestly guys, I'm really happy with how this has all come up. It's looking really nice. It gives it just that little bit of, it's used, where people come through here, so it's not all overgrown. But it's nothing fancy, so you might come down if you're doing a shift working down at the nether, so you'll come and just maybe have a bit of lunch here or something down at our table, and then you can walk on down. We've got a few chests scattered around the place before we can enter into our little bit of a cave entrance. And there we are, right here, leading up to our portal. Now, I did originally have all of this as half slabs because hostile mobs can't, path blocks, because hostile mobs can't spawn on pathing blocks. But I wanted to keep a little bit of this mossy cobblestone in there to hide some lighting, and then I just wanted to run in a little bit of the moss, so I thought it'd keep it's simple, but it's nice, it has its own place, and it's all well lit. I'm pretty sure, I'm going to put a torch there just in case it's not, but yeah, I'm just really happy with how this has come up, and it's driving us ever so closely to finishing our starter island. Now, this was one of the main areas that still need to be done. It was always sort of looking a little bit out of place, but now it's finished. And I'm noticing that there's a car or something in the background, so if you guys are hearing that, I do apologise. But getting on the case of we're getting closer to finishing our starter island, this is all looking really good. And if we spin around, you can see we've got our path leading up to the villages. That looks really nice. We've got our pathway leading over here to our far out outpost. That's looking really nice. What isn't looking really nice is anything sort of that away, or all of this space up here, and this section here. We really need to fix this up. I want to wrap around this little bit of a dirt mound to match up over there a bit more. Something needs to be built here. However, though, I have reached out to my Discord community and those who follow me over on Instagram to see what they would build and design up in here. And yeah, maybe we can get some inspiration from some of you guys of what you guys want built in this space. But something needs to go here. And then obviously I want another tower set up on the hill there, and I want a bit of a fishing dock set up over there. So there's still a few things that we've got to get done, and hopefully try and get done today. I do have a bit of dirt, so let me just go and show you how I want to connect up this section of it. So I don't really like that it has, you see that loose bit there, so I try and fill it up in there like so. And now I'm going to gradually just try and loop us so that we meet up with this spot here. And I think if we've just gone like this, we should have met up nicely. Maybe extend that one on a little bit more. Actually take that out so it doesn't look so awkward. Yeah, so I think if we extend this upper lip and fill in all the grass blocks here, then go around and just add a bit more bone meal and the moss sort of stuff, just like we've done there, to this section, this should be all finished. So I'm going to jump out and get that done while, I think it's now a lawnmower. So yeah, well, hopefully the lawn is mowed. We can come back and jump into the next part. Now, isn't it amazing what a bit of bone meal, some flowers and some moss can really do to bring up an area? Like, honestly, look how much this space here has improved. Now, I know, yes, it's very sort of greenery, it's all lush area, it's not like it's a building or anything, but this really helps tie a story of our starter island and sort of set it up like, well, I don't traditionally build a base where it's one big building and everything's inside of it. I like building different little buildings that have meaning and everything, where we can add a bit of story. And I think doing lots of greenery like this really helps tie in that tale with something like this building over here. We've got our enchanting tower, which I have been thinking about this because it has all of these green leaves, even though everything else is pink. when we built this enchanting tower, we did build it up with that flower up there because it's a savanna biome, and we wanted it to try and help, you know, sprout life and growth into this area, and all the moss started to appear, as well as all of our pink trees and everything. So I think pockets around this tower here, we're going to need to go up and do a few more of these green bushes so that we can have as the tying in of nature, this enchanting building. And then everywhere else, sort of maybe where some of these pollens, as you can see the green particles coming out of this tower, as far as they can reach, we might add in some of the more of that green there, so that's where it's working its magic and everything like that, where everywhere else has been more seeded by the pink trees that maybe mutated first up around this area, and they've spreaded much further than what the green particles can. But with that little bit of an idea of lore coming, you know, out and just getting that out of the way, I did also include this side of the path here. I didn't quite get this spot done, but that'll take me like a minute with some bone meal and some moss, so I wasn't too worried. But it all ties in really nicely now. We've got another little bit of a park bench. Our path leads up and around. Now, we still have this space here, which, honestly, I'm getting some really good feedback with some ideas. Like, we're getting some hedge mazes ideas, roller coasters, temples, towers, and everything like that. So I've got a lot to think about. I'm not too sure if I'm going to get this area built in this episode or next one, because, yeah, there's a lot of good ideas coming through. And one last thing I'd like to touch in on is I finally actually enclosed our little bone meal maker over here with the 2 composters and that, just by enclosing it with some trapdoors and just of spruce all the way around, and then we got the oak as just sort of the grates around the top. And honestly, it's not much. They kind of just look like the storage crates inside of our, you know, barn area here. But it just really helps tie it in and makes it look so much cleaner than it did before, with just, you know, standing out in the middle of nowhere with these chests floating above these hoppers. Now it actually looks like it's an enclosed unit. Now, while we're also over here, I'd like to mention this pathway along here. Now, I want to come along with the lecterns and run them all the way along here. We're going to make up another little pathway that will meet up with what we're going to start doing in a minute down here. And then I'll wrap these all the way back around, and then we'll just come through, add a bit more greenery up here, and this section should be done, which leads up all the way up to our starter house over here. And it's coming up really cool. Alright, so in the mood of still trying to finish off our starter island, we now need to attack the project over here. So I want to build up another one of our lookout towers over here, but I don't want it to blend too much in with this sand hill. So what I'm thinking is we're going to re-terraform this so it's more of a rocky mound coming up through the ground, and we'll build our tower on top of that. So we're going to need our pathway to lead on down to go over to here, over this section, and we will go up a little bit closer to it so you can see. I just want to sort of get it all in perspective from here. But over in this direction, I want us to build a bit of a fishing station, maybe having it be in the water and we build a bridge to it, but we'll need a path that goes straight along down there. We're going to need to connect up this path in to run along to meet up with the main one here. It's going to go to our fishing area, our watchtower, and then we need one more build that's going to be over here somewhere. Now, this is the edge. Yes, so this probably all won't stay as sand, but I need something to put over here. And I'm thinking maybe one of the ideas that I don't use from the viewers over in that section, I might put it over here. But for now, we need to get this pathway built in. And before I can do that, I need to actually map out where I want these where I want these paths to go. Did I just say the same thing 2 different ways? Anyway, let's get out our shovel and we'll just use this as a template. So I want the path to kind of come off from here, and we're going to wrap down. Now I do want to go down 1 level. Now do we want to go down a 2nd level? I think so, but we're going to want to possibly bring this up a little bit more. Just like that, yeah. So that way it's a little bit more even, so then we can go down here. And then I think this will be our straight. But I don't want to go down any further. So let's just run a straight path along here with our grass. And then we'll put paths here so that we know that this is our path. Just so that we've got an idea. And this is kind of this is kind of the mental process that I go through of just visually laying it out, but now I'm just going to kind of show you guys how I physically lay out the paths, and then I'll go through and build it up. So as you can see, this is the layer that I want, so everything up here needs to go. So we'll just remove all that. Replacing the torches because I still don't want things to spawn here. Where'd that come from? Show yourself! I think I scared him. It's all good. So, let me just quickly knock down this hill and we'll start on the next bit. So, now that we've cleared out this space here, we're obviously going to need to go around and level out this area. So, first off, everything in here will be filled up, so that's not too hard to trace around. So, let's now just go along from our pathway here, and I think that we had the 2 there, so now we can pretty much maybe just run a 3, bring out an extra 1 so we can go out 1. It should leave us 3 in the middle. We'll go 1 more there to give us a diagonal, and that will meet us back up in line with where our rocky terrain will be formed. So we'll just then go around fixing up the ground like that as we terraform. Now, obviously I'll fix out this angle when we approach that part, but that's got our idea. Now from here, we've got to work out how do we want this section to meet up, and I'm thinking maybe if we do start to angle it from here and run it just a few across. Is this at the right level? I think it is. So I hope it is. We'll just keep running them on like that, and then maybe bring it back out a little bit, bring a sharper turn out, and yeah, there we go. We can match that back in there. We can flatten this sort of out too and bring it around so it's not so sharp of an edge. And then just sort of replace our torches as we go on. But yeah, so this is now our area that needs to have grass in on this side. We need to figure out where we're going to bring it in from around here. So I think this is our level, and we want it to almost meet up in line there with that. So we've got this edge here. Let's just run it out a few. Okay, so we've now got our template. This is where I need to go and fill in sand, replace some sand with grass and fill in all the other area with the grass or dirt, and depending on what we've got. So let me get that in there, and then might even put in our paths, and then we'll bring you all back in. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that little process of how I visualize getting our paths in and then work out what the terrain needs to do around it. But before it starts getting too much darker, let me sleep away and bring you guys back to a nice even area. Right, so now that I've got this ground all flattened out, it was much easier to place in the paths. Now, as you can see, I've got a path leading out to the water, and that's where I intend to build a bit of a bridge leading us to where our fishing hut area is going to be. We've got a pathway leading over there to our sand dune, which will be replaced with rock. I just wanted to keep that as a template, with a template of where our tower will be sitting on top of it. We've also got our stairs in that connect us back up to that main hub of our starter area, and we've got our pathway nice and smoothly leading all the way into this entrance from the enchanting tower. Now I've also gone along and placed in all of our markers so I know where to come back and put in our street lights. I need to go and kill a few more squids so I can get some more black ink, so I can, get the little, as you can see up on the top of these light posts, they've got like a black candle that gives them a little bit of the top of the thing, so I need to get those so I can build all of this up. But I thought instead of waiting around to get that done, I thought we could come up here and put in place our tower, because I've always built these, I believe, on time lapses or just as off camera, like our outpost over there. But these things are really, really simple, and for the base of it, mainly I use a lot of the stripped birch logs because I think they just look really nice as a bit more of a grounding block here for this build. And we mix in some sandstone going in along different bases. So I'll just go along here and making sure that we keep in with all these ground sections. Now, as you can see, this is all going to be washed away by the sand around it. I am going to replace that with stone, and that will be done after we put our tower in. I just want to, get this stuff built up now as it is. But yeah, so we can go along here, like this one's going to need to be a block as well because it can be seen from below. But we're just going to place these in and yeah, just get that done. So let me go around and complete our first lap. Alright, so now that I've got this first layer around here, let's actually change up what blocks we got on our hotbar and bring in the flooring blocks, which is our traditional polished diorite and granite. Now, I need to make up just a few more torches, but this is where we're just going to go around and place in our floor. So our entranceway is going to be directly up here, so this is going to be our center block. Now, I'll change that with our stairs, and I'm going to place the first one as our polished diorite. So now we just do a bit of a jigsaw, backwards and forwards between the blocks until we finish up all on the floor. Now, going along here, I will go in and place down some torches along the bottom of this to give us a bit of that hidden lighting coming up from underneath it. So, let me place in the floor and then we'll be back in for the next part. So with our floor now in place, it's time just to continue on this circle going all the way up. So I do this in lots of 3 and I go up, this first layer of 3s where I will keep a lot more of the birch logs, but then once we get to the next layer is where I'll try and start to wean it off of it, so that way it's got more of the sturdiness of the stone rather than having a bit more of that darker shade of the wood. And so that's my method. So I'll go around here. As you can see, we're only going up the 2 layers at the moment. That's because I want to try and get a little bit more of this stripped birch into this action. Now this is where our door will be, so we can just cover that with dirt temporarily. And then, yeah, once we go around here, so we'll go up 1 more layer. This will be sort of the last layer where I'm focusing on getting the birch into it, rather than having more of the stone on this other one here, which will start to slowly introduce the cut sandstone too. So yeah, we'll bring a bit more of that in, a bit more of these in, and as you can see, we are almost up to our end peak. So now that we're here, we've gone up 3 layers. This is our first sort of stage because we go up 2 more times. Bring us a total of 9 for the floor, and then we'll go around with the 10th layer being a chiseled cut sandstone block, and then we'll go in with the stairs that follow around the top there. So let me just keep going around here now, and I'll keep placing in all of our blocks. As you can see now, at this point we go up 3. I will keep going in every now and then with a bit of the birch, but it's no longer the predominant block that I'm using. It's going to be more of the sandstone and the cut sandstone that I'm focusing on now at this part of the build. So yeah, let me just finish off this wraparound now. Alright, so now we are up here 9 blocks high. We're going to go around with a ring of the chiseled sandstone. Now this isn't seen from outside of the building, but it is seen on like the top floor inside the tower, and it just gives it a nice little bit of a look. So I've just continued on doing it for all the ones that we've had so far. After this, I will have to go through and strip all of our birch because it doesn't quite look right in this form at the moment. As you can tell, it looks much cleaner when we start to strip it off. So now that this, let's go around and do our stairs. And now this always terrifies me. We can get our the slabs on our hotbar as well, but this always terrifies me because sometimes stairs don't go the way you want them to, and it flicks itself around and you've got the possibility of falling. So that's always the risk with doing this, and I feel pretty confident in my feather falling 3 boots that there shouldn't be an issue, and I haven't had too bad of a fall yet. I mean, there's always been a fall, but it's always been just like maybe a max of like 4 or 5 blocks, so it's never really done any damage. So yeah, this part here we are up a little bit higher, and there's a guy with a trident, so we're going to be very careful as we go around and complete this lip. Beautiful. Now that we've got this part up here, we can go around each one of these corners, stick up one of these chiseled sandstone blocks, and they will have a torch on them for now to keep a bit of light up here while we're doing work getting the other floors in before we replace them with lanterns. So the torches up here as well. Go around, place these in here, and then we'll start using our half slabs to give this a bit more of a detailed look. So we'll go around, it'll be 1 in like that, 1 in the middle, and 1 on each edge, 1 on each edge, 1 in the middle, 1 on each edge. And this just sort of helps give it a bit more of a a bit more of a decorative sort of stance on it. It doesn't look like it's all a flat sort of mess. It all has a bit more of a jiggity-jaggedy from looking at it from afar. So now I've got to jump all the way back down there because I didn't build up a way to get in. Now, can I make it into the water? This could be my famous last words, but I can make that. Whew. Yep. Ah, drown. Hello. Ooh, squid. I need you guys for ink. So, now that we're back down here at the bottom, it's time to strip all of our birch logs to make them sort of blend in a little bit more with that sandstone texturing. Alright, our next step is to work out where do we want to put in our ladder, and I think I'm going to put it in on this side here because I want a window for there and a window for there because I mainly want these two sides to have a window as well as this side on the next floor. This side can be a little bit more closed in because it's just looking back into the island. It's not needing to be protected. So with this, we'll look up. We want the opposite on the floor, so it'll be just like that. Now we've got a little neat trick to it is all the ringed around here because of our pattern will be the diorite, so I can just quickly go and place them in to get some blocks in straight away. Alright, so with that in there, before we move on to the next floor, it's always good to work out where we want our windows. So we're going to want one here. We'll cut them up 3 because that top one there will be an upside down stair and we can all have our lookout there. And we'll have the other one that was opted for here. Now, until we get all this set up, we're going to need to put in some torches to have that bit of extra lighting. And then we can go up to the next level. And you guessed it, we're going to repeat the whole process. So this time our ladder's going to go all the way up on this side. We're opting for that because it's going to be looking back into the village and we can have the better outposts here from looking out. And then we'll repeat our patterns. So on the corners it's going to be the polished granite. So let me get this done. Perfect. With that finished in, now we get a slightly bigger window here. We will take it up, so that's 2, 3 like the previous, and then we're going to give it 1 more of a lift. So that brings us a total of we're going to get a 3 tall window with a little bit of with the stairing up on the top there, and that'll be on each side. So 1, 2, 3, and then that'll be where our stair is. Pick up our spare blocks, and another one here. So now I've just got to come back in, place some upside down stairs there of the sandstone or smooth sandstone, I think also works really well, and place in the panes of glass, as well as come back through and just do, the standard decorative work. But if we come on up here to our upstairs abode, you can see that we've got a really nice lookout just over all of our island. We can see everything, all what's going on over there, anybody coming in. This is a good spot. I'll just sleep away the night, and I've got to put in, the stairs for here, which is just going to be something similar to that like we've always done. So, I think when we come back, I'll have these stairs in place, the lamp posts all up, and I think I might decorate this area here and tidy up this space here a little bit. So we'll be back in a moment. Alright, and keeping in with today's theme, after every cutscene there is a bit more greenery popping around the place, and this is no exception. Now, as you can see, I've gone around and added in our light posts all over the place. We've gone in and added a bit of bone meal and moss around to sort of give it a bit more of that sort of overgrown but natural feel. We've added in our lecterns with the white carpet along the top ring up there, and it really helps separate these sections. And I have gone up and included, as you can see, up around a bit more of our actual house, and it really does just help make it pop a little bit more. Now, I've also gone in and added up our stairway as well as all of our doors and, the windows into our tower. Now, I did miss one bit of detailing when we were going through it, and that is to go around on each of these jagged edges with a combination of the walls as sandstone and birch fences, just to sort of help round the building a little bit. And if we jump on down here, you can see how it helps sort of take a little bit of that edge off, and it kind of gives us a little bit of a rounding of the building. And I think it's just a really nice little just touch, which I forgot to mention as I was building it up, but when I was putting in those stairs, it looked really weird without them. So yeah, guys, look, this episode has taken quite a bit of time to make, as you could have seen with the time lapse and all of resource gathering, everything like that. That I think we're going to have to bring it to an end. Now, exactly, Mr. Sheep, I don't want it to end either, but we do need to get this video out. So, I have decided what is going to be put over in this space, and it was a comment left over on our Discord server, so that will be going here next episode. And as for this space behind me, I've had quite a few good suggestions, so I think I'm also going to open it up here for anyone in the comments to leave an idea of what you would build in this section here, and yeah, then we can try and maybe get that in next episode as well. Maybe have a bit of like a builder, you know, the viewers build sort of episode coming on. But yes, guys, with all that said, I am going to have to wrap up this episode. I really do hope that you have enjoyed seeing a bit of the decorative work being built up, such as this stuff here, because I realized that why not give the outro in the area where we've actually made look really cool. So guys, thank you for everyone who has tuned in. I hope you have enjoyed, and yeah, please leave some comments of any build suggestion that you'd put in that area that's up there behind us. And yeah, until next time,